Welcome to the Executives View, the sports podcast where the stakes are high and the debates are fierce. Please welcome your host, Aaron Sirius Simmons, alongside co-host Barry DeVille Jordan. Each week, we bring you into the boardroom where the elite minds of sports converge. From the gridiron strategies to the business behind the ball, we tackle the hard-hitting questions and give you an insider's perspective. So pull up a chair and join us at the table where champions are made and legends are born. This is the Executives View. Let's get down to business.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Executives View. This is the view from on top. You could be anywhere in the world on a Tuesday night, but you're here with the executives, and I do appreciate that, man. You guys know how I get started. If you see the show, share the show, man. We're all over the place: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify. We're doing big things in big places, and definitely want to take you along for the journey. I got the fellas with me, man. My co-host is here. And flesh, but not here in spirit, man. Shout out to the homie Villain for joining us today. Had a long day, man. What's up, my guy? How we doing this evening, sir?
Villain, I need everybody. I need all you to feel me with no hands, man. You know how it is. Shout out to the rest in peace, Sean P. Yes, but yeah, it's been a long day. My boo had major surgery today, but she's doing well. Thinking about her always, and here with you guys. So Chandler can yell at me because no, he can't go too long without yelling at me. So.
It's only a matter of time. Larry's in the building. What's going on, Larry? How we doing this evening, sir?
Hey, man, I'm good, fellas. Hey, when Unc yelling, that means he engaged. So we love it.
We love it.
Hey, that mean he engaged with us. That mean he in tune. That mean he in good spirits. People take that he yelling is him being angry. We know he just saying, fellas, I love y'all. Hey, look, that's all he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Unc, man, he's in the building. It was 2 weeks in a row, man. You have to clap it for Unc being here with us 2 weeks in a row. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, first time in a minute, right?
Back to back.
What up, Unc? How we doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Stephen Vogt, Pat Murphy. Y'all know damn well y'all shouldn't have won them awards.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit later on. That there was an interesting decision with the Cleveland Guardians, and that's why. But we'll talk about them in a minute. I wanted to switch it up a little bit this evening, gentlemen. I kind of tipped my hand in the group thread. We had a massive weekend for mixed martial arts, man. We had a boxing match that wasn't necessarily a boxing match, but we had a John Jones kind of flexed a little bit and said, let me remind everybody who the hell I am. And I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to kind of talk about what you saw. I know everybody's watching the Netflix thing. I'm going to throw that Larry first, my guy, man. Boxing took a black eye, if you will, but you want to talk about it, man. How'd you feel about what happened this weekend?
I mean, but like this, man. After Mike put out the comment about his health and he wanted to make it to the end, I was like, okay, maybe that's what played into some of the I'm gonna say non-action of the fight, right? But when we look at like the Jake Paul fights, most of his fights we consider them to be like novelty. Mm-hmm. They like him fighting somebody who has an MMA background and not really a boxing background. The one person he did fight that really had a true boxing background, he lost that fight. Then now he's fighting Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's Chandler, y'all the same age or something?
Only 3 years older than me, bro. So yeah, pretty much we the same damn age.
Yeah, it's like he fought the 58-year-old Mike Tyson, not the 28-year-old Mike Tyson. That might have ended a little bit different. Mike on his meds now. Mike much more tranquil now. But I actually kind of wanted to see more action in the fight. Even though Mike is a little bit up in age, we've been watching all the sparring sessions, all of the the lead up to the fight. But that was, and like I went back and thought about it. I say that was before he had his health scare that we had videos and stuff. So maybe that kind of played into it too. You know, after the second round, you know, Mike was just kind of like, hey, I'm trying to make it to the end. Jake Paul, I'm gonna put it like this. You ever had that guy who talks so much, but then you like, okay, bro, now you got to put your foot to the pedal. What are you gonna do? Quit fighting these novelty guys. Quit fighting, 58-year-old former champions. Fight somebody who has an up and coming record like you. Somebody's in your weight class. Fight a real fight.
Right.
You know, that's where I'm kind of at with the Jake Paul. You know, I know him and Beta if they were trading words online, he's never gonna take a fight against Beta.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
Unless he wants to die in the ring, he would never take that fight. Look, you're not going.
And that's the thing. Like for me, when you sit there and watch this whole thing, and again, you alluded to it a little bit ago, he's fighting older guys, MMA guys, trying to make the crossover. And it's very difficult for me to take this fighter seriously, because he's not fighting actual boxers. Like,
right. Can I raise my hand?
Well, Mike is a boxer, but he's 58.
He's 58 years old. Like, here's the thing. Roy Jones Jr. talked more about his legs during the fight than Mike Tyson actually landing punches. Well, his legs is about to go. His legs got to go. I done heard more about Mike Tyson's legs and seen more of this dude's behind than I care to hear or see ever.
but guys, here's my problem. Why are you trying to take Paul seriously?
Because it's an insult to boxing.
But isn't it an insult to boxing that he's here in general? It's an insult to the real fighters out here that they're not making the money that this guy's making.
And that's why
he's stealing your money. And why would he want to go fight a real fight? It doesn't.
He's not.
He's never going. He's never
like
going.
When it comes to Jake Paul, he's done the training. Like he has a huge YouTube following, but he actually has trained. But it's like, okay, at some point you got to fight a real fighter.
But see, here's the thing. Go ahead, man.
Why?
Well, if you're a fan of boxing,
he's already stealing. He doesn't care. He's out here to make money. That's all he's doing.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. They're the idiots that are paying him. You know what I'm saying?
But see, here's the thing.
He doesn't have to fight anybody real ever in his life. He's not out to win championships. He's not out to prove that he's the best. He doesn't care.
Then don't consider yourself a boxer.
But he is a boxer. He is a boxer. He's more WWE than boxer.
But see, that's the problem. Is
I can see that.
He's actually doing more for boxing than some of these actual boxers are.
That's the problem.
And see, that's why, like, I can't stand him. But as a boxing fan, I kind of need him. Because who else is talking about? There's no way to hell, right, that they would have got that crowd pretty much, but name a boxer.
It was the
name a boxer.
10th largest gate. They made 18 million a game.
Exactly. So if I'm a boxing fan and I want to see interest in my sport, my sport continue, I kind of need this clown.
Yeah.
I kind of need this clown. And the minute he fights somebody real and gets his clock cleaned, which we all know he will, because he is a boxer in the sense of he's one of those 20 years ago, right? Without social media and all of that, those are the guys you fought as a young boxer coming up. You fought tomato cans. Mm-hmm. That was how you got your record up, and that was how you moved up through the ranks, and then you eventually got somebody to give you a shot because you had this sparkling record when in reality you hadn't fought no damn body, right? But your promoter was smart. He kept giving you bums so you could hone your craft. But Barry said, though, Jake Paul is never going to fight anybody.
He doesn't need to. Because he's getting his teeth cut on bums, old dudes, but you're paying him hundreds of millions of dollars to do it.
Right.
Why would I go back and fight Canelo? Canelo exactly. My clock.
So this is what I would say. This is what I would say about it too. Yeah, he's making his money because people do come to see him, and it may be, a little novelty to it. But his undercards actually have had really good fights. Like really
I'm gonna talk about the undercard here in a minute.
Like the Katie Taylor fight, that was a fight.
That was a great fight.
Even though Serrano got robbed, to me, that was a fight. And like he's put like really good fights on the undercards. So when you go to the show, you're not getting, these unheard of guys. Like even Shushu was on his undercard. Like you're not getting a lot of guys that people don't know who they are, and then they see the main event. You're getting really good undercard fights, and then you get the novelty.
Right, and that's why I say we kind of need him, even though he's a clown. He is in some ways keeping boxing alive, man.
Which is sad.
He has his own little ecosystem, and sometimes you need that. You need that guy that's gonna, get the crowds in. I'm a fan of Rada Season. So Rada Season, that's what he is. He's paying these guys crazy money. He's putting cards on. He's telling you ain't fighting no bums. But when you were making, 150K, 200K, here's this 20 million. Here's this 50 million. But you're gonna fight somebody's good. But what he's doing too is he's stacking these cards where people are literally gonna start watching boxing again. Barry, I hit you. Barry,
there you go.
He put a card on with 2 world champions and two championship fights and a bunch of good fights for $20. When have we ever seen a pay-per-view for $20?
Right,
championship fighters.
Not since I was young, and $20 was a lot for a pay-per-view.
It really didn't work well because Netflix was acting up, man. We got Coach in the building. What's up, Coach? How we doing?
No, I'm saying, what's up, Coach? No, I'm saying that for Rada Season, he's been putting on good cards where you have to fight the best of the best. He's paying these guys record salaries. Like now we got Usyk and Fury 2 coming up, and Fury made
which no one should want to watch. No one should want to watch that fight, by the way.
Yeah, but Fury made $100 million on the first fight.
No, I get that, but no one should want to watch that fight because it's going to be garbage. It's going to be a terrible fight.
Oh yeah, Usyk gonna take him out. Usyk gonna probably knock him out this time.
My problem is like people pay to watch Paul because we want to pay to see him fall, right?
Yes,
everybody hates him.
Yes,
and that's the thing. So he doesn't need to fight anybody.
No, he don't
care. You know what I'm gonna tell you?
He doesn't care about this being a champion like your favorite boxers out here, LG, right? He's out here to make money. He's everything done in his life.
He trains with really good trainers, but he just hasn't fought anyone.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. You're going to pay to watch him lose. You're going to pay to watch him get his behind kicked. Because even if you don't pay for it, Netflix is going to pay him.
But see,
HBO Max is going to pay him.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. He's fighting people that will not kick his behind. So,
but why? That's the problem. Why would I pay somebody to kick my behind if I could pay somebody just to stand there and look dumb for 8 rounds? I still get paid.
But that's the dichotomy that comes along with him is he's a clown. Yeah. The fight is a farce, right? But like for me, I didn't watch it because I want to remember Mike the way he was. And I knew if Mike didn't get him in the first 2 rounds, he wasn't going to get him.
Mike didn't get paid if he didn't get him.
Well, no. Mike wasn't going to get him because I know right now, listen, somebody run up on me. I got 3 good swings in me, bro. If I don't put you down in the first 3 swings, I'm need a sandwich, a nap, and an oxygen bottle. It'd be real quick. All right?
Paul whispered in his ear, Unc, you want to get this money, right? You better stop hitting me.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew if Mike didn't get him in the first 2 rounds, he wasn't going to get him. So I'm not going to watch me at that point basically flailing in the ring. I'm not doing it.
I mean, but people paid to see Mike fight Roy Jones, and both of them was way past their prime. It was just it's the novelty part of it. Like I said, for me,
and the nostalgia because I grew up with Mike. I grew up with Mike Tyson, so I remember Iron Mike. I remember how people, literal giants of the sport, were terrified of this man. You understand what I'm saying? They were terrified, right?
You know what? And I'll go even further, Barry. It's like WWE, man. You know what's gonna happen. You see the build up to it. you see Mike and I sparring, and Mike hit the bag. You know, it's like, oh shit, Mike got 3 more rounds left in it. Oh man, it's the one that we never got to see. So it's kind of like that, man. You know, it was one of the things where, to me, I didn't anticipate it being no knockout, drag out fight, but you know, we pay and we watch stupid crap all the time. We pay and watch novelty crap all the time. So from that aspect of it, I wasn't really tripping. Like I said, he put a lot of good fights on the undercards, which people were more pissed off about the Amanda Serrano robbery than they were about the what's called it. People were more bad about that than the actual Tyson and Paul fight.
When you can accept the fact that both the Paul brothers are sports entertainers, you're right.
But I mean, man, you know what? Most of who got paid the most money in boxing? Floyd Mayweather. And a lot of people didn't come to see him because they liked him. They came to see him because they wanted to see us get his ass whooped.
That's right.
And
that's a fact. That is a fact.
They hated him, but they were literally paying for the pay-per-views.
You know, like that's the name of the game. He fought Pacquiao 4 or 5 years too late.
Man, 10 years. That was 10 years too late, bro. That was 10 years too late.
We still paid to see that shit, right?
Yeah.
If he was 10 years earlier, he would have knocked out Pacquiao in round 3.
I think Pacquiao would have got him 10 years earlier.
Nah,
it would have been.
I think Pacquiao would have got him, bro.
Nah, because you got to remember, there's a difference between Pretty Boy and Money Mayweather. Pretty was knocking dudes out left and right.
But that was like the first 5 years.
When he hurt
till his hands started having issues with his hands.
When he hurt his hands on Castillo, big hard Mexican head, is when he started having problems.
Yeah.
If Money give him his props, man.
If Money with that hand speed would have fought Pacquiao, he would have knocked out Pacquiao in 5 rounds.
Steve, did you watch the fight?
Yes, I did.
What did you think? Huh? What did you think?
No, y'all got it.
Hey, I mean, Steve probably was like, "Why is my Netflix buffering?" Why?
Right? I was furious.
He's probably still on round 6 and shit, still buffering right now, right?
Because he was like, "Man, Black Friday games coming up."
I know they better sort this shit out by the time WWE come on.
Yeah, they got it. They got a month to get it.
They got till Christmas. They got till
that was a good test run, though.
Yeah, no, they got till Christmas to get it ready, and then any kinks on Christmas, they better get ready for January 6th. I'm just saying. But
Zach, here's my problem. The whole presentation sucked. In Cowboy Stadium, I gotta see Jerry Jones with a mic that don't work. I gotta see Rosie Perez at ringside doing the fight. No, God knows what the hell she talking. Like,
I didn't mind seeing Rosie Perez. That's just me personally, though.
Rosie Perez is fine, bro. Don't talk about Rosie now.
But what is she gonna do? Why is she calling a match?
I don't care. She's fine. Okay, bro.
She didn't sound like I would say this. She didn't sound like she didn't know what she was talking about.
She's a huge boxer fan.
You could have got Stephen Hawking out there doing the match than having her.
R.I.P. to Stephen Hawking.
I'd rather look at Rosie Perez than Stephen Hawking, bro. Yeah. I'm just saying.
But you can't
Rosie Perez is a big boxer fan, like huge boxer fan. She goes to a lot of matches.
Look, guys,
listen. Netflix got a lot of work to do. That's just my opinion.
But that was a good test run.
I've listened to you guys wax poetic about like the sweet science and stuff like that. And look, I'm gonna say this. Look, you can say what you want to about that. There we go. Look at that picture, Rosie.
Look at that. Come on,
still bringing the fastball.
Yes, sir.
But so here's the thing. When you just like Barry said, when you realize that the Paul brothers are P.T. Barnum. Okay, that's what they do. You know, it's like they got famous for making fools of themselves on YouTube, and people like it. Like, oh, this is funny. Like they're doing all this crazy stuff with them. So it's like, So now it's like, this is not serious. These are exhibitions. It's like it's not just. I don't know. People get all up in arms, and it's like, like I said on Facebook. Now I know what our dads and uncles felt like watching the Holmes and Ali fight.
Bro, that fight was so sad.
That
fight was so sad.
Yeah. So it's like seeing Mike Tyson like in the, it was just like, ugh, you know, like it's just, I wasn't gonna watch it. We went to the basketball game Friday night, and we got home, and it was like, you know what, this shit's on. Might as well watch it. You know, I was trying to stay away from it, but like a moth to a flame, you know, you get on the internet and everybody's talking about it. I'm like, oh well, let's fire up the old Netflix, you know. And then one of the first things I see when I get the Netflix all situated is Mike Tyson's ass.
Yep.
You know, which I could have gone without seeing that. You know,
Mike's crazy, man.
Hey, listen, you got to bring everybody to the party, bro. Got to bring everybody to the party. It was some people want to see his ass. They got to see his ass.
It was like he was being interviewed by his son before a fight, you know, and it was a heartwarming moment. And then it's like they didn't have to pan down. They could have been like in Back Tomorrow and Roy Jones. And Roy Jones probably still complaining about Mike Tyson's legs. He said that shit like 13,000 times. You know, it's like Roy Jones, who probably still bitter that Mike Tyson like rearranged his intestines. You know what I'm saying, during that fight. You know, so it's like
he was big mad.
He's probably still mad about that. And it's just like again, it's a spectacle. It's like if you want quote unquote real boxing, this was not for you. Now there was some real boxing on the card.
Yes.
You know, and that's the thing. And that's how like Paul has realized, like, hey, look, y'all got to deal with my bullshit in the main event. But we're gonna put some actual real fights on the card before you got to deal with the exhibition. You know,
which still helps boxing. Which still helps boxing.
Still helps boxing because it's like, okay, yeah, the quote unquote main event was, you know, an old man with a bad heart versus like, you know, a roided up guy like 30 years younger than him or 20 years younger than him. But there was the other fight were pretty decent fights. So then that's how you bring people back to boxing. But for people who are true fans of boxing, it's like you don't want all that other stuff. You know, but you know what? You can say what you want to. A lot of people watched, and there wasn't too much empty space in AT&T Stadium Friday night.
Right.
There was a lot more empty space there last night than it was on Friday.
You know, we can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
But hey, here's the thing, serious.
But
hey, Aaron,
like I said, it is what it is, and I saw people getting all up in arms, and it's like, look, I understand, like Larry and like and Chandler and stuff like that, and guys who are true boxing fans, it's like, yeah. This is not boxing.
I gotta embrace both. I gotta embrace both.
Like, it's like again, like I said, when you realize that, I feel like, and this might be rough to say, but it's like this is good for boxing.
It is.
This is good for boxing. This is getting eyes on boxing. This is getting people talking about boxing. You know, because then now the ripple effect from this is. When the top ranked fights come on ESPN, maybe more people start watching those. You know,
but the other side of that though is it makes me sad that this is what boxing has come to. That we need this clown, right, to help save us.
No, you don't.
It doesn't matter. It's like saving this. You might not like the messenger, but the messages of boxing is back in the limelight, so to speak. It's like, Chandler, you know, you got a couple years on the rest of us. It's like you remember a time where if you ask somebody who the heavyweight champion of the world is, they would be able to rattle it off like that. Oh yeah,
you could go to anywhere on this planet and they knew who the heavyweight champion of the world was.
You go and ask 100 people who the heavyweight champion of the world is, and how many people gonna know the answer?
Actually, they might say boxing is still happening.
No. They'll say John Jones.
They'll say Adonis Creed.
Yeah, John Jones is the heavyweight champion.
Speaking of John Jones, he ain't failed the drug test yet or got arrested. Oh my God.
But you know what I'm gonna say? Chandler, Steve, and I'm gonna tell Chandler the same thing. Not only the Jake Paul stuff, but the stuff that they doing with the Rada season. Steve, you alluded to it before. It's the same guys who behind Live. They got like trillions of dollars. The stuff that he's doing for boxing is bringing fans back too. Like I said, he's putting on. He only wants the best fighting the best. He's paying guys the money that they should be getting paid, but he's also telling the fans, look, you're not paying $99.99 for these pay-per-views. Here's $20, so that way I can bring in 300 million people watching it versus a million people watching it.
Mhm.
Listen, I remember when a $30 pay-per-view, you had a party at your house, right?
Yeah.
You had food and everything, and everybody chipped in on the pay-per-view.
Mhm.
And that was a good time, man. Ain't nobody paying $100 damn for no pay-per-view now. Miss me with that.
Mhm.
Nah, but he's setting up some good stuff, man. But you know what? We could venture on over. Steve already brought it out, man. The baddest man on the planet, bro.
The baddest man on the planet.
Baddest man on the planet,
Bad
boy.
boy
Hey,
right there.
I'm just shocked that he ain't failed the drug test or got arrested yet. Because that's been the only thing with John Jones is he's a clown outside of the ring. But in the ring,
him is cocaine. That's the only thing that's ever been
John Jones is the greatest MMA fighter I have ever seen. He is
he's
his
great
own
MMA
worst. He
fighter
is
ever.
his own worst enemy. He is his greatest opponent. Is himself. And that's always been the case with John Jones.
Yep.
It's like, again, now we're in my wheelhouse. Now it's like when you look at John Jones, it's just like he's like literally the perfect fighter. He's tall, long legs, can wrestle with you, can strike like anybody else. And it's like he's wasted so much time with that other stuff.
Yes.
It's John Jones reminds me of Shaq to a point to where it's like if Shaq had the mindset to like, you know what, I'm going to be great. I'm going to be the greatest. I'm going to be even greater. Shaq a lot of the time just let his natural ability just kind of get him by, and he didn't work as hard maybe as he could have. If John Jones could have kept those outside distractions away and just focused on fighting, I mean, he's already the greatest, but it's just like he could have been in another galaxy away from these guys. If he had a Anderson Silva mindset, who knows what could have happened with John Jones?
He could have been the greatest athlete of this century.
Mm-hmm.
Period, hands down. Okay, this dude could sell out any stadium, arena, amphitheater, mud island theater, you name the venue, he can sell it out.
Mm-hmm.
If he was just in there fighting himself. Okay, John Jones gonna fight his shadow. He can sell it out. But he's a clown once he leaves the octagon. He's a clown.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's honestly unfortunate because when you look at the accolades that Bones Jones has been able to accumulate, I mean, his record speaks for itself. And to be honest with you, gentlemen, like I'm sitting here looking at it now.
I'm one joke of a loss that he got DQ'd on some joke. That dude could literally be the only undefeated MMA fighter champion.
Right.
You know how hard that is?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the funny thing. If you look at the heavyweight division, I don't see anybody messing with him.
Listen,
Aspinall will give him a good fight. Aspinall will give him a good fight, but other than that,
he wants to fight him. But John Jones could literally have dominated he could have went down to flyweight, won that one, and then went to every division after that and won the championship. That is how talented that young man is.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane, man. That's insane.
Dude, man, John Jones, I'm gonna be like this. Miocic, he probably still shitting blood today.
Bro, and Stipe Miocic, that wasn't no push
that kick was
no.
That kick hurt me. That kick hurt me, and I was sitting here on my couch watching. I was like, I had to bend over.
And Miocic, the closest thing to what you call, I guess, a rival in terms of if you want to say who might be better than John Jones, which he's not, but if you wanted to put somebody up there, it would have been Miocic, and that fight wasn't close.
Yeah, I would listen if you brought up Stipe. I wouldn't agree, but I would at least listen.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, when it comes to John Jones, man, I done seen John Jones choke a dude out standing up.
Yep.
You know how hard that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like on the cage, do want to sleep.
He's one of the only dudes that you can sit back and you can say, how do I beat this dude?
Mm-hmm.
I can't outstrike him because he can strike. His kicks, oh my God, his leg kicks literally will take your legs from up underneath you.
You got to go the distance and hope he failed a drug test, which he has on multiple.
and get a no contest. Ask Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier crying in the ring.
Yeah, that dude crying.
and people don't realize Daniel Cormier is like one of the most accomplished MMA fighters.
He is
Oh,
one of
he
the
made
greatest
him
of all
look
time.
silly.
One of the greatest
He
of all
made
time.
him look silly.
And Cormier was boring. Cormier was boring as hell.
But he kept winning.
Right? But he kept winning. But he kept winning.
And
Could be
John
John
Jones was
Jones,
like
though.
literally like, let me get rid of you, bro. You wasted my time over here. Like,
Yo,
John Jones literally just took him out like it wasn't.
He beat Daniel Cormier so bad that Daniel Cormier became a meme.
Yeah.
This brother
It wasn't
became
too
a
long, much
meme.
long after Daniel Cormier started doing the announcing.
Yeah, he was like, I'm done with that.
You know what? I can't do nothing with this guy. Like I said, it's sad that like you say, with all of the other stuff that goes on with John Jones. But once he steps inside that octagon, man, it is like, man, that dude is box office, man. And it's we talk about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet. Everybody couldn't wait to see Mike Tyson, taking out the next person. But Mike Tyson actually lost. John Jones is the baddest man on the planet and is still like technically undefeated.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? And like, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't see anybody even messing with him. I think with him now, I know I saw the post fight with Joe
Rogan.
Dana was like, he don't want to see him fight, Espinal and all this other stuff. John Jones has earned the right to say, you know what? Let me find somebody I want to fight my last.
But Dana ain't gonna pay the money. That's the thing. Dana's not gonna pay the money. We all know that.
Dana be on that BS. But see, the thing about that is that John Jones has deserved the right to basically just walk away right now. Because the only person that he could even possibly fight, anybody that would pay like stupid money to see him fight, is Francis Ngannou. And Francis Ngannou, Dana is not bringing him back to UFC.
Because Dana don't want to pay that money, and Francis showed him that he don't need him.
Yeah, right. And that's another thing. Rada, he made $50 million in Rada season with 2 fights, and he's like, that's the most money he ever made.
Yo, I just realized you saying Rada season is Rihad.
Rihad, yeah, you know what I mean, Rihad.
Yeah, I was like Rada season.
We knew what he was saying. We just,
I was like, okay.
Rihad.
I was just like, am I tripping? Or like, Rihad?
My bad, man.
Listen, he said it 3 times before I figured it out. I just ain't. I let him run with it, bro.
Okay, my bad.
He made $50 million with Rihad. Yeah, like dude was like he literally fought Tyson Fury and Joshua, and he made $25 million.
He beat Tyson Fury too.
Yeah, he dropped Tyson Fury. Yeah, hey, and that was on some novelty stuff too, to a certain degree. But $25 million, yeah, he went.
Hey, listen, you give me $25 million, I'm getting in that damn ring. I get in the ring with Mike Tyson now for $25 million.
And your old legs or whatever, just keep your pants on, homie.
Yeah, bro, listen, I'm be backpedaling the whole time. But wait a minute, time out.
Hey, yeah, but at this point, the only fight that anybody would even see him fight is Ngannou, and that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen unless he leave UFC, and he ain't leaving UFC.
I mean, the only person in UFC right now that I want to see him fight is Alex Pereira. That would probably be a good fight.
That should be a good fight, yeah.
Pereira walks around like at heavyweight weight, so it would like he'd have to like put on a whole bunch of weight.
Yeah,
and I think that's the one fight that I would want to see.
It go to distance. I think it go to distance, but I think Jones wins. I think it goes to distance though.
I think Jones knocks him out in the second round, man.
Really?
Them leg kicks, and he long, man. Them
leg kicks
gonna wear him out, man. I think them leg kicks will get him. But yeah, man, that man is the baddest man on the planet. Like I say, them ribs is broken, bro. Miyoki ribs is broken.
You heard what Miyoki? You heard what he said, right? What about he said, I'm retired?
Yeah,
I'm done. He said, I'm done.
I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good. Man, listen.
Yeah, man. Anyways, with that being said, wanted to switch gears really quickly, get this out the way. We had some MLB awards come out. I know how this is about to go, so I'm gonna let Chandler bat lead off here. AL Manager of the Year, Stephen Voigt. NL Manager of the Year is Pat Murphy. Chandler, I'm gonna let you cook, man. How you feel?
You know, when the season started, no one other than some of the people on this show, on any podcast, national network, some dude in his grandma's basement, some guy on Twitter, Reddit, subreddit on the dark web. Okay.
Dark web.
All right. Gave the Kansas City Royals even a puncher's chance of making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell is Adam Quartaro, right? Manager?
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell is he not get manager yet? Oh, and by the way, AJ Hinch. The Detroit Tigers were an absolute dumpster fire filled with propane tanks next to a children's hospital with rockets being fired at them.
Dang.
Okay? That's how bad they were. And that man took that team. I believe at the All-Star break, they were, and somebody fact check me, they were at least double digits below 500.
Yeah.
Okay. And they damn near won their division. Made the playoffs. So you got two guys. You could have split the damn award and gave them both, a co-manager of the year. I'm sorry. Miss me with the Cleveland Indians with a loaded roster. I get he's a rookie manager, but look at that roster. Okay. And tell me that they shouldn't have at least been in the wild card. And he gets it? Why? Why? Makes no sense. Oh, and the New York Mets were a laughing stock. I'm sorry, we just doing an AL. I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry.
No. I'm gonna let you cook, man. Bounce over to the NL real quick because I'm sure everybody in the building wants to talk about how Pat Murphy's the most deserving Manager of the Year award candidate here too. So holla at your boy.
The Brewers have won the NL Central how many years in a row? Okay.
2 or 3.
So the manager left. The manager with the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs were trash. So apparently it was the roster. Okay, and the New York Mets. People were talking about trade Pete Alonso, trade Francisco Lindor. Why in the hell did you sign Luis Severino? Brandon Nimmo is washed. Okay, Sterling Marte, he can't stay off the damn injured list. They had Tyrone Taylor. Okay, not the one that oh my God, I lost the name. The singer, not the one the singer called Tyrone, not him, a different Tyrone Taylor. They had the shortstop who had been in the minors for almost a year. Nobody wanted him, right? And he starts doing Spanglish rap songs. I forget the genre they call it now. We just call it Spanglish when you mix Spanish, Spanish and English. We just call it Spanglish, or whatever the hell genre they call it now. Just making up fucking words. I'm sorry, Barry's mom for cursing. I apologize. I'm really pissed off right now. Okay, and the Carlos Mendoza should have been manager of the year. It's been a whole lot of guys should have been manager of the year except these two bums.
Yeah, honestly, man, when the awards came out, I looked at it. I was like, this is interesting. I kind of knew where your head was with it. Villain, talk to me, my man. We had the 2 Manager of the Year awards go out today. The AL nor the NL is kind of who I was going to pick, but what say you, sir?
First of all, my mother said she's going to come on the show and she's going to talk to you, Chandler. She says, I don't like that when you cursing like that. You need to behave.
One time.
She said, I'm your mother. You don't talk like that. So I'm gonna talk to him. But I didn't get a chance to talk to you. So shout out to my mom. I love you. She's 78. She'll sing some Negro spirituals to you, man.
We'll have a moment, man. We'll sit here and hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Don't
she'll get in there and sing. I need thee every hour. She'll be singing everything to you. So. Listen, yeah, Mendoza should have won, in my opinion, and that's New York bias. But I mean, he did more with less. I feel like even I'll give my man Stinker, right? What's his name? Brian
Snitker. Yeah.
Snitker. I'll give him credit because how he kept that team together,
right?
With the injuries he went through, I'll give him props. But yeah, I think Mendoza, from the everybody on that team really needs to get kudos from the start. They had the first 2 months. They were one of the worst teams in baseball to get to the NLCS.
Oh.
It's amazing. So I would have gave him more consideration. But on the AL side, Quintaro, man.
Yeah.
How is I agree with you, Long. I would have split it because when I looked, I said Quintero, yeah, man, that guy shouldn't. And then I'm like, oh, Hinch, man, AJ Hinch, man.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like those two guys should have got it ahead of and Steven Vogt is not a bad pick. It's just I feel like two guys deserve it more because Steven lost he lost Shane Bieber, he lost McKenzie. They were shorthanded most of the year, but they still won that division. So you got to give them a little props for that, right? But and they led the division for most of the year. But Kansas City and Detroit more particularly than Kansas City, because Kansas City at least had some solid years here and there, and you know what I mean. But you didn't see it coming. But Detroit, to your point, they were dead in the water. We were talking about them selling off parts at every part of the season, right? We were talking about them selling off anybody they could get there, that wasn't tied down. And for them to make it to the playoffs and impress, in my opinion, I would have liked to see them get a little bit more shine. But I'm not particularly mad at who won the awards. I just feel like there were other guys that probably should have been out there.
I feel you. Coach, talk to me, my man. The two managers of the year were named today. As you can tell, there's been some rebuttal from the group. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, again, with these awards, people admit like, oh, well, what's the best story? What's the best story? It's like, I don't think Murphy's story is better than what happened with the Mets. Or even or even out in San Diego,
Oh yeah.
It's like if you say you vote based on narrative, what exactly is the narrative that you're voting for in which you vote Murphy Manager of the Year? Seriously, let's and that's no disrespect to him at all. It's just I feel like again, I think I would have went a bunch of different ways with the NL Manager of the Year, AL. I mean, look, it could be, my bias of loving AJ Hinch and loving the Tigers. Yeah, I mean, you can give it to Quintana, but I mean, like AJ Hinch is like the Tigers were dead in the water this season.
Yep.
It was over with this season. And they were able to get up off the mat, and the famous don't let the Tigers get hot. The Tigers got hot.
The Tigers got hot,
and they made it to the playoffs. And AJ Hinch, we talk a lot about like managers pushing the right buttons, pulling the right strings, whatever like that. It was just like it got to a point to where like you could just like AJ Hinch has always been, and I know this from his years with the Astros, he's always been a guy who's just like always seems to be a step ahead. AJ Hinch in his time in Houston made one bad mistake, and that was pulling Zach Greinke out of Game 7 of the 2019 World Series. So that's a pretty good track record. To me, he only made one bad move his whole time in Houston, whatever like that, and other stuff too. But anyway, we won't talk about that. But I just feel like with these awards, it's like I don't know. If it's narrative based, then what is the story with Murphy? And I mean, with the Guardians again, like Barry alluded to. Tons of injuries. Your ace goes down, then your second best pitcher goes down. So it's like but this is where I will give him credit. Being a former catcher and knowing how to manage a pitching staff and getting the best out of a pitching staff, that experience came in handy for him.
Yeah.
And so he did a hell of a job managing that pitching staff and stuff like that. And like I said, all the years of being a pitcher, I mean, being a catcher probably helped him. So, I mean, big ups to him, big ups to Murphy. But, there's other guys that I could have saw won that award.
Yeah. Larry, talk to me, my guy. I mean, the panel kind of ate this one up, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about it, man. Steven Vogt and Pat Murphy won the Manager of the Year for the AL and NL respectively, man. How you feel?
I mean, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, bro, but maybe I'm like Steve. I got my AJ Hinch bias, but I feel like they didn't give it to him because he's AJ Hinch.
Maybe.
And, we know how anything Astros, everybody gets all their panties all in a twist behind anything Astros, right? But I also look at it from this standpoint. Can you name anybody on the Tigers besides Screwball?
I can, but most people can't.
Yeah,
Most people can't.
Yeah.
Most people can't. Most people can't because they nameless, right?
Nameless great faces.
Yep.
Yeah. And I always look at it from the standpoint too of how much of an improvement have you shown from a manager? If you're looking at manager of the year, right?
Right.
2 years ago, the Tigers lost 96 games. And they made the playoffs this year.
Yo, he finished third in the AL Manager of the Year race.
Unbelievable.
Do you not know how hard that is with a roster that nobody knows who the hell who in the hell is on your team, and from 2 years to take them from 96 losses to making the playoffs, knocking off my Astros and doing what he did. Like I said, I feel like it's because he has that Astros stigma. You know, like I said, I think that's really what it comes down to. I'm not mad at them giving it to, you know, the guy from the Guardians, because it's like at that point it's like, okay, well, we can't give it to AJ, because we give it to AJ, what is that saying? That's like Astros wins. That's like, you know, hey, we can't vote for him because he was part of the Astros.
Yeah, but how many years? And see, I blame the players more than I blame him. How many years he's got to wear the stink?
That's the point. Everybody keeps still bringing it up. Remember, this is why I said what I said, because we wasn't even playing in the World Series and Cashman bringing up the Astros. We wasn't even playing. That's why I said.
But that's because of the players. I blame the players more than Hinch, because Hinch at least said, I'm sorry. I was wrong. The players, Carlos Correa in particular, walked around like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? But AJ Hinch paid his penalty, bro.
But we know how the media is too. And it would not have looked right if they would have gave it to AJ, even though AJ did the I'm gonna be like,
you can spin that around as like, oh well, he was, you know, with the Astros and he's gotten away from that, and now look at this. You can spin that.
Now,
anyway. I don't think it had anything to do with. I don't think it had anything to do with his past, but I mean, maybe some people still. I mean, people still like yell at Correa. Correa ain't played in the Astros for how long? People still yell at George Springer. George Springer been with the Blue Jays 3 or 4 years now. But I mean, it is what it is. You know,
it is what it is. People still salty about it, but you know, it is what it is. Like that letter didn't arrive at the Yankee Stadium, and that letter didn't arrive at the Red Sox stadiums too. You know, people act like that letter didn't exist, but that letter did get over there. You know, to me, you know, and like I said, I think that AJ did the best. But if I was gonna go with, you know, somebody else that they could have gave it to, what's the guy's name? The A's manager. Like,
Bob Melvin? Oh, hell no.
They didn't make the Chandler. The A's were, like we said about the Tigers, dead in the water. The A's actually had the second best record in the AL after the All-Star break, bro.
I'll be honest. I can't stand Bob Melvin. I hate him. If I saw him on the street, I'd punch him in the face. So I can't agree with you on Bob Melvin, but it's personal.
No.
He got 3 punches and it's a wrap.
Kate is their manager. Kate is the manager with the A's, not Melvin. It's Kate.
Oh, Kate?
Yeah. Like,
then I would agree with you. Yes.
Think about it. I mean, look, if you thinking about Coach of the Year, right? They ain't even got no damn stadium. Nobody.
Yeah, and they playing with a bunch of 4A players. Yeah, I can see Kate.
I can see Kate with basically nobody. And they literally was one of the hottest teams in the second half of the season. And they literally, I think they won like 60-something games. Dude, they had barely had 2 wins going into mid-season.
I agree with you. I see Kate.
He did a hell of a job. You know, and like I said, on the NL side, that was, you know, a who's who. They could have gave it to anybody on that side. You know, it's only one guy that did win the championship that they could have just said, you know what, he did have 98 wins.
Dave Robinson ain't getting no damn manager.
He did have
$100 million roster.
I mean, they did have 98 wins. You know, they could have just, you know, called it.
Yeah, but they're looking at the payroll. They're looking at the payroll at that point. That's why a Yankee manager won't get it. A Dodger manager won't get it. An Astro manager honestly won't get it because everybody don't like the Astros. So those 3 teams, if you manage for them, you can hang up getting these sort of awards as a manager.
Yeah, but the Mets, they did a good job. I actually like the job that the guy for the I always forget his name. because he the Braves manager, but the Braves
Brian Snicker,
yeah, Brian Snicker, yeah. With all those injuries, dude, for them to even stay around, and then they wasn't even buyers. I mean, we all thought they were gonna be buyers at the trade deadline. They didn't really make that many moves.
No,
they made little small moves, but for them to still stay in contention, bro, yeah, he pulled some. Hey, they lost some heavy hitters over there, and to keep that ship afloat, yeah, you got to be a good manager at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll that's my take on both of them, But like I said, I'm still gonna be, AJ should have won. AJ probably like
Aaron Boone got some votes. That was weird. Aaron Boone got some votes. I didn't think Aaron Boone.
Well, Aaron Boone is one of those guys that everybody likes, and his family been in baseball so long, he knows everybody, so he'll get votes simply because they just like him as a person. I've heard he's a really good guy. I never met the dude, but I've heard he's a really great person. So you know how it is when you're a good person, people kind of, let's give him a vote because we like him.
I actually don't know if he's a good person, but I mean, I've heard about that being a good person and stuff, but
yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, he's a good person.
Like I said, I don't know the cat. I know he's a clown because, I know he's stupid because he messed up his contract with the Yankees playing basketball, but that's a whole other conversation. But all I've ever heard about the dude from people that have actually met him is he's a good human being, and it's something to be said for that. So
here's the breakdown, gentlemen. I was able to find it. Again, the guy from the Royals second, AJ Hinch came in third.
Unbelievable.
The guy from the Astros came in fourth. Boone, as you can see it all laid out that way for the AL. I do have the NL. Give me a second to pull that. But
I can't read that tiny print, man. I'm old.
I know.
You got to put up the letters this big.
In what universe did Joe Espada
vote? Man, that dude was about to make me and Steve pull our hair out over here. Man, that dude. Only reason why
I don't have any. I don't like Larry. You the only one with hair on this show.
On this show,
I don't got any hair.
You can pull a hair out of your beard, man. You can pull one out of your.
I'm not doing this.
Man, that dude made some of the most boneheaded decisions I've seen, man.
But they made the playoffs.
Based off of talent. You talk about a team just getting there on talent. Man, Steve, let me go there, bro. Me and Steve was literally sitting up here arguing about why the hell is Presley pitching in the bottom of the eighth in a rainy game that has no bearing on nothing in Boston. And then Presley come up hurt, and we're like, yeah, remember that rainy game that he was playing in that they were going out on the West Coast and he had no bearing? Like, he's 38 years old. Why the hell is he pitching in this game?
Because Joe Espada didn't have the gravitas that AJ Hinch had, where he could tell the analytics people to kiss his behind.
Yep.
Man,
look. That's all in fine, but it's like, Chandler, I know you can't read the print, but who in the hell voted for Oli Marmol as manager of the year?
Oh, I need to find that person. Now listen, I'm gonna use all three swings on that one.
What St. Louis writer who has a vote voted for Oli Marmol?
Like, dude, none of the St. Louis writers would have voted for him. They was trying to get him fired all season.
No,
that was the Chicago writer. That was the Chicago Cubs writer who wanted to piss off the Cardinals fans.
Bring it back up, serious. See, Kotsay did get some votes.
Which one? The NL or the AL?
The AL. Bring up the AL again.
Are you serious? Oli Marmol got votes?
Yeah,
no, Kotsay got votes. Kotsay got votes.
Oh my! No, he thought Oli Marmol should be fired. Right? He should have been. Man, listen.
Yeah, dude. Look, Kotsay got second place vote. Like I said, because that A's team was garbage.
No, I believe you. I'm just tripping off the Oli Marmol thing.
Yeah, if you bring the NL back up, like I know I saw Oli Marmol down at the bottom.
Yeah, he's there.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Ow.
He's got a relative who's got credentials. One of his relatives got credentials or something.
No. Oli Marmol has the manager of the year vote. They gave him a manager of the year vote.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he has one thing. He has a third place vote.
See, this is why you need to have like a combination. You can't just have writers. You got to have like maybe writers, fans, and players or something. It got to be a combination. You can't.
They need to make their votes transparent. We need to see who voted for who.
What's Chandler? They're scared of your three swings, man. Now I'm glad it's anonymous.
Bro, listen. Oli Marmol ruined one of the storied franchises in baseball.
Dude.
I'm glad to see it though. I love to see it, but I mean, yeah, it's like he shouldn't get an year vote.
That's crazy.
And nobody must like Dave Roberts because he ain't.
No, it's a whole lot of people don't like Dave Roberts, bro.
I mean, hey, Mookie, go hit. Hey, Shohei, hit one. Hit one to San Francisco. Hey, hey, Freddie, do that thing, do that home run thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, all
right. Yeah. No, we don't forget Freeman. Don't forget Freeman.
Hey, Freddie, go do that home run thing you do. Man,
hey, but you know what? Normally I would be on the dump on Dave Roberts. But when he pulled that bullpen game out against the Padres, man, look, hey, that was
his finest hour. That was his
magnum. That was his.
Yeah, it was.
It really was.
That was your tip your hat moment for him, man.
Yeah.
And remember, we always on the show saying who gonna make the bonehead mistake between him and Aaron Boone.
Yep. And it was Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
But we knew one of them would. We knew one of them would.
It was coming. It
was like a Laurel and Hardy thing. Who's on first? I don't know. Third base.
Villa, we gotta get on the. We gotta get on and talk about it, man. We gotta wash it. We gotta wash it.
I know. We gotta cleanse ourselves.
We gotta watch the tape and burn it. We gotta watch the tape and then burn it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna be the 2024 remake of the Bad News Bears.
Anyway, changing gears a little bit. The college football playoffs came out with their ranking. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to talk about it. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let you cook. Give me 1 second. So the way it looks is like this: Oregon is still at number 1, Ohio State number 2, Texas number 3, Penn State is number 4, Indiana is sitting at 5, Notre Dame at 6, Alabama 7, Miami is at 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, so on and so on. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to kind of talk about how this came out. I do have the playoff bracket here in a second, but I know Unc wanted to talk about what he heard today. Okay, so Unc, listen here. I don't have a dump button, and I can't have Mama Jordan yelling at you.
I'm not even really gonna be that upset about it. It's just it's the nonsense that goes on with this SEC bias nonsense, and I never used to really believe in that. Until this 12-team playoff thing came.
Not too much on the SEC.
You should have been known that.
Not too much on the SEC, Unc. Just be nice to the SEC.
I'm just saying, miss me with trying to justify Georgia. Miss me with, the strength of schedule, because you know what? Early in the year, when all them teams that you caping for now was undefeated, you weren't talking about strength of schedule. How is Ohio State ahead of Indiana when Indiana leads their conference? Right? Conference, not division, conference.
Wait,
how? Miss me with strength of schedule. Indiana has beat who's been in front of them. Period. End of story. They have beat who has been in front of them. All right.
It'll shake out in the
FMU should not be that low. Why is Missouri even ranked at this point? And I was caping for Missouri. Okay, me and Steve went at it with the preseason in the group chat, right? And I'm standing Missouri, you don't know what you're talking about, Missouri, right? Missouri should not even be ranked at this point. And the first two out, I'm sorry, what? BYU lost to Kansas. They lost to Kansas. There's no way they should be higher than boys. Man, look. I get that a large portion of this is about money and ratings. I get that part. Okay. I have never misunderstood that. That's why they kept it at 4 for so long, because what did it do? It drove interest. It had people talking in the offseason, had people concentrating on college football. I get that. Dude, you went to 12. You went to 12, which means you will get some teams that ain't got that, the viewership ain't going to be that high, but you chose to go to 12. Okay. So don't keep screwing people now, because you're going to get your money no matter what. But, man, come on. The whole top 10 is nothing but SEC and Big Ten. Seriously?
I mean, they're the two best conferences. I mean,
yeah.
All right, listen, miss me with the best conference nonsense, okay? Because when we see them in bowl games, they get boat raced.
Yep.
How are you the best conference when the bowl games come? right?
That was last year, bro.
No, bro, that's been almost the past 10 years. Larry, how they do in wrestling? They tag off or something. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, look, that's been like the last 3 or 4 years, man. The SEC does not beat these other teams. I've been on I hate the SEC bias because you could look at the preseason rankings and a team like Clemson could have the number 1 recruiting class year after year. Alabama's number 1. What? Miss me with that. They would do that stuff every year. Like I'm being honest. I get it. When you basically split in half between Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, because they've all beat each other, beat somebody, beat this. But when it comes down to it, the only one that actually has a quality non-SEC win is Georgia. They beat Clemson. Yeah. And Clemson is looking like a freaking world beater right now. Like I'm like that too. And this is the part that you really know that really just pisses you off when you watch this. I'm being Mama Jordan. My bad. I almost slipped up. This is the part that really pisses you off. BYU could lose to a quality team like Kansas, and you literally fall 10 spots. Damn near 10 spots. But you watch an Alabama team lose to unranked Vanderbilt, and they fall 3 spots or 2 spots. You know, it's almost like, man, I'm just sitting up here listening to Drake in my head when he say, man, I'm too sexy for my shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not the sexy team, then you might as well just put your shirt back on, man. Because at the end of the day, they looking for who's the sexy teams, who's gonna bring in the ratings, who's gonna pay us the most money, all that stuff like that. Like, that's the part that I'm kind of like, you know what? Let's see how this shake up. And if I see, I'm not gonna say that I think it's gonna happen, but if I see a BYU team coming in and run the table and win a championship, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I wanted to see.
They earned it. They earned it.
BYU ain't even gonna win their own conference. BYU's not gonna win in the Big 12.
No, but I'm just saying, if I see a 12 seed come in here and run the table and win it all, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it, and let it be a non SEC team. Like I said, it's a stigma that the SEC is the best conference, but only teams that I've seen that schedule outside of the SEC is LSU and Georgia. Nobody else schedules outside of the SEC. And then when they play these teams in these bowl games, they have been getting their asses kicked. So you can't say it's like what Chandler was saying. You fight against a bunch of these bums, you building your record up. And then when you go fight a champion, you're getting your ass whooped. And it's like the SEC only plays SEC teams. And then when they go play other teams, they get beat. But then the next year, everybody come back and say, oh, SEC is the best conference again. Big 12 is the best conference again. Everybody keeps saying that when these other teams are actually doing, you know, the same thing that y'all doing. They actually have some really good players that, you know, put on their pads and they cleats like everybody else do. And it's I want to see what's going to happen when some of these teams that can't stop the run in the SEC, and they face a Boise State.
Oh my God!
Yeah, like I want to see what's going to happen because this is starting to get it's almost getting to the point where it's really starting to get frustrating. Where you can see SEC teams lose, and now they talking about a 3-loss SEC team making the playoffs.
Yep.
That's where we're at now.
When remember what I said? Remember I told you I said it was what's Ohio State in Florida's old coach?
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. He said, man, when Alabama put so much pressure on these non-SEC teams that they cannot afford to lose one game because they know they're gonna fall so far in the polls, they're not gonna be able to recover. So now you see it again where these teams literally lose one game, and it's 12 teams. 12. And you lose one game and you out of the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that's how it was before, which is why I agree with them going to 12. I agree with that. I can't say 12, maybe 8. I agree with the extension of the college football playoffs because, again, any given Sunday you can have a slip up and then you can get yourself together, become the best team, this, that, and the third. However, with how it's shaping up, Georgia may get 3 losses and still find their way in. Ole Miss found their way in. Alabama's in this nonsense thing. At some point, one of these guys is going to fall and bust their head, and they're still going to find their way in with 3 losses. We all know that's how it's going to shake out.
Man, you know what this is starting to look like to me? It's starting to look like, you could be the SWAC champion and, you get the play-in game in the field of 64, and you may not even get the play-in game. You might get, served up to the 16th seed.
Open it up to
first
4
4.
teams.
The first 4,
the first 4.
You get to go to beautiful Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, you get a field trip. It's like, we don't care about if you may have beat some quality teams, but you're the SWAC champion, so you get the play-in game.
Jeez, man. Yeah, this is wild. Let me get out of here with this before we move. Villain, do you want to talk about it anymore? Or do you want to go and talk about NFL real quick?
No, I mean, you guys hit it really quick. I mean, I'm just happy to see Colorado still winning. They played a good game. Georgia, got to give them credit. They went and beat Tennessee, even though the SEC bias is real. We all know that. I mean, we've been here long enough. We know it's real. But they played a good game. Notre Dame had a pretty good game too. They took care of business. I'm just looking forward to Oregon. They think they clinched the Big Ten championship, right? Game.
Yeah, they clinched the spot. They announced it today.
They announced it today. So they have won me over, Coach. Like I really feel.
But that means they got one more game left on the 30th versus Washington, and their season's over.
Yeah.
But they won me over. I think they're right now the best team in college football. I don't think there's any debate on that. I'll be curious to see how the ACC shakes out. I think
SMU.
SMU, Miami is where we're headed. Clemson has an outside shot, but I think
SMU beats them by 14.
Yeah,
I honestly think the defense of Miami is going to hold them back, which is crazy because Miami's always had good defenses historically. But I think SMU can slip them up, so that'll be interesting to see. And I'm here for it. I love the 12 team. It's more football the better. I'm happy.
Here's the thing. Before we start talking about SMU Miami, Clemson's ahead of Miami.
Yeah, they are.
So before we start talking about SMU Miami, I'm looking at Miami's schedule. They don't even play SMU. But let me pop over to Clemson real quickly because Clemson is sitting at the number 2 spot. And if things kind of go according to where they're going to go, they will play Clemson and not Miami. Clemson has South Carolina on the 30th, and they got Citadel.
Citadel.
Yeah.
Citadel.
Is it one of your old
Clemson?
No, that's in Charleston. Actually, the VA took me to that game one day, and they introduced us on the field as veterans. That was actually pretty cool.
No, Clemson's lucky that South Carolina game isn't going to mess up anything as far as the ACC because South Carolina might beat them.
They might.
South Carolina might beat them. Let me just get in here real quick. I know Barry want to go and we want to get to NFL, but I just want to say a couple things. The SMU disrespect continues.
Yes.
But what did I say last week? I feel like SMU's going to be there. They're going to be there, and then they're not going to even get in the bracket until they're going to have to win the ACC to finally get in the bracket. So they're going to go from being out to being like getting a bye. Probably.
They're one of the first teams out, first or second team out right now.
So it's going to be a situation where SMU goes from out to first round bye. Because I think they're going to end up winning the ACC.
They go from out to 4.
Yeah, exactly. Out to 4. Again, Ole Miss, number 10 on the bracket.
You know what?
Number 1 in my heart.
You just don't keep doing that. You're gonna keep twisting that knife, man.
The mighty fighting Kiffins. But something I wanted to mention real quick before we move on from college football is this TNT deal with the Big 12.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that. What is that?
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Barry.
No, so because the NBA and TNT sued the NBA because they didn't get a chance to match the offer that the streaming services got to get NBA TV.
Right.
They basically did a 3-way deal as an agreement. ESPN gets Inside the NBA, and presumably Shaq, Barkley, all those guys.
So they basically gonna pay Turner to let them do it. Okay.
But in turn, ESPN is giving up some of their Big 10 or Big 12 basketball and football games to TNT. Well, Warner Discovery, but it's going to be on TNT, TBS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are games that were going to be on streaming, but now they're going to go funneled to TNT starting next year. So it's good exposure. It gives TNT sports that they need. It's good exposure for the Big 12 to try to get teams to come back or stay in their conference or come to their conference. And I think it works for all sides. I think it's a really good deal. I think the fact that Big 12 can stay in linear TV as opposed to streaming, even though money's in streaming, but linear TV is what a lot of people have, I think, and gets them exposure. So now you can get Colorado on TNT. And not have, they don't have to be exactly. They don't have to be early game on Fox at 12 o'clock, right?
Yeah,
it's on that
This is a big thing for college football for the Big 12
and for basketball.
Yeah, good for basketball
because quietly, Coach, Big 12 is one of the better conferences in basketball.
May be the best if you look from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you look from Kansas. And and Iowa State and Baylor,
Arizona State, Kansas State,
Arizona is in the Big 12 now. So what they bring, what they don't bring on the football field, they definitely bring on the basketball field.
Yes.
But I want to say this, Barry's the business guy, but it's like it's like we all know the SEC and ESPN are in bed together. They've been in bed together for years.
Yeah,
Fox is all snuggled up with the Big 10.
Yep.
Like the Big 12 needed somebody to tuck them in at night, so to speak. You know, so this is big that Discovery, Warner, TNT, however you want to phrase it, is getting this deal with TNT. I mean, like the Big 12 needs this because Larry Scott, who killed the Pac-12 with that terrible DirecTV deal. It's like look. Texas isn't in the Big 12 anymore, but I mean, it's like I love college sports. So I didn't want to see the Big 12 go the way of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So, but the Pac-12 getting this deal with Time Warner Discovery, this is huge for them. It's huge for college sports. Like again, it's like I love it. I'm a big fan of it. So, like this is something that kind of got pushed under the rug, but this I don't see a lot of people talking about this. This is a really big thing that happened.
That's huge. Because
it's huge.
You get to have the studio guys. They're gonna bring in Barkley and Shaq to kind of hype up some of the games.
ESPN,
that's huge for them.
Yeah, because ESPN they're buying the brand name and they're buying the talent, right? But you got to look at it like this: ESPN Plus is not even close to remnant inventory. It's inventory that nobody cares about. So now you give that inventory to TNT and to the Big 12. They like Coach says that there's a partnership that they can work with together, and now you can get that linear money together. So it really works.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. It's a
win-win. Yep.
So
everybody was gonna be pissed because Inside the NBA was going away. So you can't have NBA games without Inside the NBA.
You can't.
Barkley. Well, Barkley said he was going to retire and walked it back 2 months later.
Yeah, and Shaq
now he's
fully committed. So
Shaq isn't signed right now, so we still
but Dale, I've been noticing Shaq doing a lot of the different networks doing appearances and stuff. I think kind of while Barkley walked it back, so he whispers, "Hey, listen, bro, we about to do some stuff. We're gonna keep y'all together. You still gonna be working for Turner, but Disney gonna be cutting the checks." And he's like, "Oh yeah."
And now you're on ABC. Now they get the finals. Now
they get inside NBA. They finally get the finals. They get that Disney money. So I mean, it's all good.
And like inside the NBA, their ratings are like crazy high. So it was a win-win for both.
Yeah. So ESPN gonna get that revenue money, and listen, they just made all that money on Deadpool and Wolverine, so they got some money to spend.
Got money.
And now they're going to
Got
get
money.
that. Now they're going to be able to sell that advertising space, serious, right?
Yep.
With
Yeah.
inside the NBA, it works for all sides. It's
Yeah.
a great deal. It's a great deal.
Yeah. So before we get out of it, before we let Villain go, we had a New York Giants benching / injury settlement / whatever you want to call it. And they benched Daniel Jones, and Tommy Cutlass is now in the building, starting at the quarterback. I wanted to give Villain an opportunity to kind of say what he got to say on it. I did watch Adriana's live today off of TikTok. Shout out to Adriana, friend of the program. She had some things to say about it. But I wanted to give Villain an opportunity to kind of say what he had to say. Obviously, we all have some stuff to say about it as well. But Villain, talk to me, man. Your boy finally got benched. How you feel?
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Listen, I didn't think I could sing. You know, I can sing.
Oh wow.
So I'm sad because he gives us the best chance to lose. I told Unc that before Unc just jumped down my damn throat and could not let me finish my speech. Let me finish my speech, goddammit.
I don't remember that, bro. I don't remember none of that.
Now, convenient amnesia. I know the procedure. I mean, listen, it's crazy because I was just talking to my brother. Me and my brother were talking for like an hour today, and there were so many avenues we went down. But like people forget his rookie year, he threw for 24 touchdowns. He had over 3,000 yards passing, and everybody thought that this guy was going to be the next big thing. But everybody forgot that this guy was a one-trick pony in Duke. You know, the friend of the program, the Mannings, sold this guy to everybody that wanted to listen to him. And, you know, it is what it is now. He got his money for it. Everybody, and I what makes me mad, serious, is that everybody is painting the picture like the Giants chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Nope, that's not how it happened. Everybody that thinks that that's how it happened is a liar. Chandler, listen to me when I tell you this. When two years ago, when one running back was making $16 million a year. Remember who that was? It still is? Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, right?
There you go, yeah.
McCaffrey, right? Who was the running back that said, "Nope, I don't want to reset the market. I just want to get my fair shake, my fair value"? Who's the running back that said that?
That was
Saquon Barkley.
There you go. Damn.
And then the Giants offered him $13 million a year and over $27 million guaranteed. Who turned that contract down?
Okay, 13 ain't 14, but it was Saquon.
Okay. And then they negotiated till the 11th hour, and then who turned every contract down?
Barkley. Because it wasn't enough. But
the guy that said that he didn't want to reset the market.
He wanted 14.
That's right. He turned it down. Right,
yeah.
And they were offering more guaranteed money that he would have gotten. He would have gotten
more money 14
than he would have got if he was franchised for 2 years straight. So he turned that money down. So the Giants turned around and said, "All right, I got to do a deal with somebody." So, and then it was a trickle effect. You know, he's like, "It is what it is." You know, tweeting, you know, that's a cap, and then scrubbing his social media. The Giants. I felt like 2 years ago. That he was done with the Giants. That's how I felt about Saquon Barkley, right? And then you come back, and then he gets franchised. He's not happy about it. Blah blah blah. Like I love Barkley, but like really 2 years ago after the knee injury, or a year ago after they should have sold high. They should have traded him. But that's neither here nor there, right? I wanted him back. The Giants didn't want him here. Whatever. It is what it is. The Giants lowballed him because they offered him a big contract and he said no. But Daniel Jones is gone. It's time to move on. Give me Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't mind having Ward, but I think it's a tank without a tank because you could have put in Drew Lock, right? Who's the backup, but you went around him and you put in Danny DeVito because he wanted to go get some Jersey Mikes. And now you got this guy in there that he's not going to mess around and win a game. He's not that good. Everybody's like, oh, Tony Khan. No, man, this guy is who he is, man. He's a third string quarterback. He's going to do exactly what he's supposed to do, lose you games. The Giants going to have a high draft pick. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to get the quarterback of the future. We're going to pay $24 million in debt, $23 million in dead money to watch Daniel Jones go away. Not my money. I don't care. And everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great.
So let me ask you this question just before Chandler gets to you.
Okay.
Dexter Lawrence came out and said that he was not a fan of the move to go to, Cutlass or whatever the case may be. And it seems like the overall vibe of the locker room in New York, because again, I kind of prepared for this particular segment, and I've watched the interviews, and I've seen the vibes, and I've seen the social media of all the Giants fans or whatever the case may be, and it's kind of split. Like half the Giants fans want the team to tank and try to suck for Shador. But the players and the other half is like, listen, we still got ball games to win. Dexter Lawrence said Daniel Jones is one of his best friends. He's the best quarterback on the team. So you got people in the locker room that actually feel as though this tanking idea is dumb. What say you?
He's absolutely right. Daniel Jones is the best quarterback on the team, and that's the problem. Players don't want to tank. Players don't want to lose games. They want to win, right? But it's not in your best interest to win at this point because you have no path forward to win. Honestly, it's hard as a fan. I don't want my team to lose week in and week out. I want my team to win every game. But reality sets in. But I'm not out there playing. Like, we've all played sports. Some of us have played football. You don't go out there to lose, and you can't tank as a player. You want to go out there and win, but there is no way forward with this team.
I got you, but again, as a player, you're not cut like that. Like,
no, you're absolutely not.
I mean, how do you get up and do what you need to do and lead your family and go to the weight room and endure the pain and all the things to be like, you know what, it's for naught. So I kind of get it. Larry, talk to me, my guy.
Especially when these teams can cut you like that.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care about your tank. I care about I want to win. So I do what I do. Like you said, I sacrifice. I get up, blood, sweat, and tears, and go out there on Sunday to win. I don't care about your tank. I don't care about next year. I might not be here next year. I'm expendable.
That's exactly the point.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think any player in that Giants locker room is like, oh yeah, man, this is gonna set us up for next year, man. Not a one.
Not a one.
Not a
one.
one.
Because some of them might not be here. To your point, like look at the Cowboys. They ain't thinking about tanking, man. They want to go out there and try to win games, even though they can't. You know what I mean?
They ain't thinking about it, but it's happening.
Yeah, it's exactly. No team wants to lose. No team tries to lose. And somebody said something that's very poignant. And then me and my brother were talking about it today. You go out there as a player, you try to tank. It's on film. Film gets around. They'll see you and be like, no, I'm not signing that guy. He's a quitter. It's just not. They're not built like that. So I understand what Dex is saying, Sexy Dexy. But I'm also the guy that was at the Giants 100-year ceremony, well, the opening party or what have you. And I heard the reception that Dex got. I heard the reception that Daniel Jones got. And they came out at the same time. And I heard the reception that Neighbors got. Daniel Jones practically got booed out of the stadium without getting booed. Okay, it was just like,
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, get this dude out of here, man. So, yeah.
I mean, honestly,
it sucks as a fan because I'm watching like teams that can, that have a quarterback put it together, and this guy's in year 6 and can't figure it out.
I mean, again, I'm not a Daniel Jones supporter by no stretch, but like. I don't feel as though he's been dealt the best of hands to work with. I mean,
but the tape was out on him to come out.
Right. I mean, he should have been drafted. He should have been drafted where he got drafted.
You said it to me. You said it to me when he got drafted. It's like what did you say to me? What did you say to me when he got drafted?
I said a lot of stuff to you, bro.
You said, "What the hell are the Giants doing?"
Like, right. Yeah. So, but anyways, I wanted to throw this around real quick, and then I'll let you get out of here and get on with your evening. Chandler, you know what I'm saying? Again, I don't have a dump button, so behave yourself. But talk to me, man. Where'd your head at?
Well, I respect what the fine gentleman from the state of Connecticut has just said to this August institution. But I feel there are a lot of things that he has said, that are untrue. The August gentleman from the state of Connecticut is prevaricating, is a liar. But I will say this in the interest of what is going on in that young man's life. I will say this. Man, miss me with all of that, bro. Listen.
I was waiting for him to come back. Come on back, CK.
Yeah, come on back.
Miss me with all of that, man. The bottom line is we're not talking about 2 years ago. Okay? The bottom line is if they had offered him the $14 million, he'd still be a Giant. The bottom line is, regardless of whether they were going to keep him or not, they never should have gave Daniel Jones that money. The bottom line is that they allowed David Cutcliffe, okay, to hornswoggle them, to bamboozle them, okay? Because he said,
let him astray.
Yeah, he led him astray because he said, he's more athletic than Eli and Peyton. I'm more athletic than Eli and Peyton when they were in their prime. Okay? Peyton was a statue, and so was Eli. The most athletic.
Eli can move a little bit now.
The most athletic member of the Manning family was named Cooper. Okay? All right. So the fact that the Giants organization, one of the cornerstone franchises of football, not just the NFL, but professional football, allowed David Cutcliffe to convince them to draft Daniel Jones, miss me with all of the justifications and the revisionist history and how they didn't choose him over Saquon Barkley. Okay? Dude. Y'all had a chance to trade Evan Neal. People were actually calling the Giants and say, hey, will you give us Evan Neal? The Giants don't want him. They won't play him. They took the guy off the practice squad rather than put him in a game.
No, that's not true. He played.
Sir, I did not interrupt you, sir. Well, on your soliloquy.
But you're lying now. You're lying. He played
the
last game.
No. He played in the last before the trade deadline. There was a game where the Giants had lost an offensive lineman, and they moved a bunch of people around and brought a guy off the practice squad rather than play Evan Neal, and they were getting trade offers, and they wouldn't play him, and they wouldn't trade him. Now, they played him since the trade deadline, but you missed an opportunity. So, again, I say this. Joe Schoen has to go. Brian Daboll has to go. Joe Schoen has to go simply for not trading Evan Neal, which is a distressed, lost, wasted asset. You're not going to play him. You're probably going to cut him after this season when you could have got something for him. Okay? So, I don't care about what happened 2 years ago with Saquon. What I care about, and I don't even care about the Giants, because when I really got into football, the Giants were in Jersey, and I don't root for teams in Jersey, which is why I'm really no longer a Jet fan. And we'll get the Joe Douglas bump behind. Well, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. Well, goodbye, Joe Douglas. I'm going to work that in there. I'm going to work that in there. But the bottom line is Joe Schoen has proven that he should not be a GM of a professional football franchise for the simple fact that when people were calling before the trade deadline for a guy that you don't want and will not use, you refuse to trade him. That's the problem with the Giants. It's not Daniel Jones.
That's not true, though. They aren't going to cut him. They have played him. They do want to keep him. They
weren't playing him before the deadline, Barry. They had trade offers and they wouldn't move him.
Yeah, because they don't want to move him. They want to keep him. But
you don't want to.
Somebody else go.
Somebody else go.
One question. Can I ask you one question?
But before you go, before week 7, he ain't played the game. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7. He ain't played. He did play week 8 versus Steelers. He played week 9 versus the Commanders, and he played week 10 versus the Panthers. And y'all just came off a bye week. So for the first 7 games of the season, he saw no clock.
He was hurt.
He was
coming off.
Oh my God,
hurt. He was coming off the injury. But here's the deal. If you are right and Cutcliffe hoodwinked Gettleman into getting Daniel Jones, how is that Joe Shane's fault? You were stuck with him.
No, you weren't. Because Joe Shane stood up there and said, see, I'm sorry about this. Joe Shane stood up there and said, I'm not going to pay $40 million for a quarterback to hand off the ball. You know what? The Baltimore Ravens are paying Lamar Jackson ugu gobs of money. And guess what he does sometimes? He hands the ball off. You know what? Justin Herbert is making ugu gobs of money. You know what Jim Harbaugh is having Justin Herbert do? He handed off the ball. So miss me with a general manager who says, I'm not paying a quarterback to hand the ball off. Guess what? You got to run the ball too, bro.
Because here's the deal. You do have to run the ball, but you're not paying Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, just to hand off the ball. Like when it comes
Jim
to
Harbaugh has Justin Herbert throwing less than 30 times a game because he understands what his quarterback is and what his quarterback isn't. Okay? And he's going to win with that quarterback while he's running the ball.
But they're getting paid more than Daniel Jones.
Yes, he is. And he's throwing less than Daniel Jones. So make it make sense, bro.
Yeah. Now Daniel Jones is getting paid all this money to sit on the bench. Hello.
But so you're paying him $40 million to not hand the ball off and to not pass. Joe Shane got to go.
No. Because I'm looking at his rookie year. He had a pretty solid year, and then he had a playoff win, right? I can go back and forth on this. I really don't want to.
This was like the Doc Rivers thing, man. Looks like Giants fans and Danny Jones is going to milk that one playoff win until the cows come home.
A lot of quarterbacks like Dak Prescott can't really say that they have.
One playoff win. But I mean,
he has $60 million.
Yes, and now that he doesn't have a running back, we see that he ain't that good.
But they paid him.
It's funny how that works. It's funny how that works when you don't want to pay the running back. Your team stinks.
Well, we got a running back. We got Tracy. They line is garbage. Well, that's true. If it ain't no hole there, you don't know what a running back gonna run to.
Did you say hole? If it ain't
a hole. If there's no hole,
ain't no holes in this house. Ain't no holes in this house.
Yeah, man. If it ain't no hole for the running back to hit, no A gap, no B gap, man. Look, ain't no running back going on. Me and Barry had a little man session yesterday about the Giants, man. Like me, I put it like this: all GMs they gonna have their hits and they misses. Bill Belichick had his hits and his misses. Every GM had their hits and they misses. Mm-hmm. Joe Shane has actually made some good moves, in my opinion, except for paying Daniel Jones. I feel like if you weren't gonna pay Saquon, don't pay him either. If you know your quarterback is garbage, don't pay him. Like, nobody's forcing you to write the check. Like, no, dude. Like, unless you're the Vikings and you get held in one of these Kirk Cousins situations where it's like, well, we going to pay Kurt or we not going to pay nobody. The Giants were in a position where they could have just not paid him, and it was a whole bunch of quarterbacks coming out the draft.
Or, not that year. Not that year.
Well, they were in a position where they could have did a stopgap. They had Tyrod. They could have did a stopgap and waited for the next. So they didn't have to pay him. And just spend that money somewhere else.
They paid him. Like they gave him $6 million a year.
Yeah, people look at it like he got paid when he really got paid.
You're paying $40 million a year. You're paying $40 million dude a $40 million contract to sit your bench because he can't be because of an injury clause.
But $40 million for a quarterback, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money.
No, that's money that can be used to upgrade offensive line, keep a running back, whatever.
They did up the growth. They did
upgrade the line of scrimmage for.
But
I was more upset that they let
like,
Xavier McKinney go.
the quarterback salaries that have gone up in the last 2 years. You act like $40 million is this dude got the bad. This is like
Oh no, that's peanuts.
Justin Herbert's getting $55 million to hand off the ball.
Yeah, that's
What are we
peanuts.
talking?
That's peanuts. But
What are we
like I
talking?
said,
this guy is going to get $80 million.
look, man, I'm gonna just say, man, I just
Great,
hope
$80 million.
I hope Dayball doesn't pull a Lovie Smith because that kind of still hurts around here, man.
What happened with Lovie Smith?
It worked out. It worked out. It worked
Yeah,
out.
it did. It
It
did.
could have been horribly wrong.
Yeah.
It
worked
could have
out.
been horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes when you're trying to tank, man, that means you get the memo that say tank. That means do not win this game, man.
But that's what I mean by like what I said earlier. Like Lovie Smith was like, I ain't gonna be here next year. Who cares? I'm gonna go out there and win. I don't care. Yeah.
Like, what? Go for this 2-point conversion? Hell yeah, we doing for it.
Yeah. And let's win this game. Yeah, Lovie Smith was like, whatever. Like, yeah, that's for y'all to deal with next year. I ain't gonna be here. Like, whatever. I don't care. You know.
Yep.
I mean, just so happy to end up working out for the best. I mean, but at the end of the day, I feel like, when it comes to like this, Beard, and I'm gonna just say this as a saving grace of your Giants. All y'all need is the number 2 pick. Whether y'all get there by losing or if y'all trade up and get it. Because Jacksonville ain't surrendering that number 1 pick, bro.
No. What I tell you, I sat on this air. I'm like, the Jazz got their eyes on the prize. What did they go out there and do Sunday? Prove me right.
Yeah, they do.
The Jazz have no interest in any football games the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you bring back Shane, you bring back Dable, you get that quarterback in the draft. Everything looks a lot better.
So the Jags are gonna get Travis Hunter. Y'all, you need is the number 2.
Giants ain't getting the number 2 pick, bro.
All they need is the number 2.
But the Giants will trade up to get the guy that
they can say what they go get.
It is imperative that they
Raiders gonna beat y'all to that pick.
But it's imperative that they get a top 5 pick, regardless of where they end up.
You got to sit at the 5th spot currently. So
right,
yeah, but I mean, like,
even if the guys who's ahead of us,
Raiders don't need a quarterback. Raiders need a quarterback.
New England don't need a quarterback.
But the Raiders do. Raiders getting that number 2 pick.
But I'm saying, Chandler, who's ahead of them right now? The Jags, the Patriots, the Raiders.
Jags, Patriots.
I think everybody else don't need a quarterback.
No, the Jets are 3 wins.
Jets.
No, Jets are behind them. They got 3 wins.
So we got Jag. Well, technically, according to what I'm seeing right now, it looks like I'm looking at this mock currently.
Can you bring it up?
Yeah, give me a second. And this mock has the Giants mocked at the number 2 pick.
But I think the Giants are going to at least 2 more games.
Win 2 more games, you mean?
I think they'll win 2 more games, whether the organization wants to or not. I think they win 2 more games.
Do they play the Cowboys again?
Browns. So the Browns need a quarterback, but they're not.
The Browns need a quarterback. You got the Raiders here. And then you got the Tennessee Titans. So the Tennessee Titans need a quarterback for sure.
No,
the Raiders need a quarterback for sure.
No, they gave up on Will Levis.
They gave up on Will Levis, Mason Rudolph, the whole experiment. You got the Cleveland Browns here, but they still have to figure out what the hell they're going to do with Deshaun. But
they're going to do the injury settlement. They'll do an injury settlement with him, bro, because he's going to be gone for the next 18 months.
Yeah,
but they got Dorian Robinson. What's his name? And I don't think the Browns. I think they'll ride with him because he played pretty good when he had played.
Yeah, but Stefanski doesn't trust him.
Stefanski may not be there, which is the whole of the ball game.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: the Giants, if the Giants slip to number 5 pick, the Patriots move up. The Giants will do a deal with the Patriots.
According to this mock here, it said that the Giants make a trade with the Tennessee Titans to move from 5th all the way up to 2.
Why would the Titans trade with the Giants when they need a quarterback?
They need dudes.
Yeah, they need more than just a quarterback.
They need more than just a quarterback. They need a bunch of dudes. So it's like they'll take all.
They need like 20 draft picks.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see it, but the Giants definitely have to get a quarterback, and I think there's 3 really good quarterbacks. Even if they slip and fall, I think Milroe is good enough.
Don't say yours. Don't say yours.
No. I think it's Sanders, it's Ward, and it's Ears is not in the top 3.
Ward's a project. He's like Anthony Richardson. He's like Anthony Richardson.
Ward can play.
I didn't say he couldn't play. I said he's a project.
No. Like no. So you have to have Locke for a year. Let him sit behind.
Yes.
And then let him roll. But
Milroe
is a slight project.
Richardson can throw.
Richardson can throw.
They got Melroy going to the Raiders here.
That's a Raiders ass pick. If I ever
see it would be. Yeah, that's
Milroe going to the Raiders. He fits that franchise like a glove.
He does, but they got to get the right offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
to me, Bobby Petrino, and believe it or not, this is for Brian Harsin, are the two guys from college. If you're going to draft, say, a Cam Ward, Jalen or Jaden? Jalen Milroe?
Jalen, yeah.
Jalen Milroe. You need a guy like that. Now, Petrino has always run a pro-style offense, but Petrino maximizes what his quarterback does best. No matter where he's been, his quarterbacks have played well because he says, listen, if this is all you can do, I can work with that. That's the kind of offensive coordinator you need. You don't need a guy that's like the clown that they just fired in Chicago who says, this the system I run, right? You need an offense coordinator who's going to say, okay, dude, what do you do best? Right now it's rolling out and only reading half the field. We can work with that. We'll start there and we'll build you up. So that's the offense coordinator. Honestly, that's the most important thing to me. What the Giants do next, it's not really the quarterback; it's the offense coordinator.
Yeah, the Giants have to get a coordinator. I don't think the guy that I forget his name that's there. You can't have Daboll calling the plays.
But you gotta have somebody with some talent too, because Daniel Jones was making some bonehead dumbass.
He can't read, Larry. He can't read a defense.
Yeah, but he can see colors. He knows the other team is wearing different colors.
The only thing I'll agree on about people have said where Daniel Jones got a raw deal is because he was limited in being a quarterback. He was limited. Had they treated him like that and done what Patriots are doing with Drake May, Washington has been doing and is doing with
Jaden Daniels.
Thank you. And I hate Sean Payton, y'all know that, but even what Payton is doing with Bo Nix, right? He says, right now, this is all you can do. I'll work with that. So the offense is going to be, this is what you do, this is all you do, and we'll work around it. If they had done that with Daniel Jones, he would be a good quarterback now.
You know what I'm gonna tell you, and B and Barry talked about it yesterday. They have to the Giants literally are going to have to go and get Shedeur because that NFC East is turning into a arms race, bro. Like Howie Roseman, he's not going to sit back and watch somebody else do nothing in that division.
Yeah,
and
I think Milroe is a better fit for the Giants. Honestly, do I think he's a better fit?
But they got to get.
You already just said that Alabama quarterbacks are bust.
No, they got to get that. I wouldn't go with Alabama.
Oh, I never said that.
Alabama quarterbacks don't know how to read a defense. Shedeur can read a defense.
But that's why I say if you get the right offense coordinator, you can listen. A guy can learn to read defenses if you don't throw him in the deep end of the pool early.
Chandler, look, real talk. Damn that, you got to go. The Giants got to go get Shedeur because Josh and Magic is not fit to sit back and say, "Oh, we had a good season with what's called it." They about to go reload up them
and that's why the Chicago Bears I've tried to ruin Caleb Williams because they said, "Well, we got to do this because of the arms race." Listen, Caleb Williams is supremely talented, but he was a half-field reader in college, so you can't now ask him to come in and read the whole field. Listen, the NFL and college are different. Shedeur Sanders can read the field in college. The NFL is different, bro.
But that's two different organizations. Organizations. But that NFC East is turning into an arms race.
You still can't ask a rookie quarterback to come in there and be like, you have to be the Jaden Daniels is doing great things, but the reality is they're making the team win the games, not him.
Chandler, but this is what I'm saying. You don't go get the second best quarterback in the draft in that division. You go get the best quarterback in the draft.
Save your job? You want to save your job for Dable and Shane?
And that's the problem. Is people are trying to save their jobs instead of doing their jobs.
Why wouldn't they?
Because your job. Listen, bro.
It's their job to get the best quarterback available. I think the best quarterback available is Sanders.
But if Sanders is gone, then you go get Milroe.
Of course, you still got to get the quarterback.
But they're going to go get Ewers. Watch the Giants draft Quinn Ewers.
No, I hope that's.
I'm telling you.
It's not happen. But here's
serious.
Serious? I got it.
Okay.
Sanders are a player or two away, like me and Larry talked about.
Yeah,
the Giants don't get a player or two away.
A couple of players. They get a quarterback.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. Really? Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry. Really? Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, look. I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm gonna just say this.
That team is not a player or two away.
I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm gonna just say this: if you put Shador and Neighbors, they're gonna put some people on notice in that division.
What's in the seats, and they're gonna
put people on notice.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead, bro.
Like I said, and Barry knows what I said. That defense that the Giants have been putting together, they've been putting together a solid defense, bro. Like real talk, their defense has kept them in games.
The defensive line is much improved. They're in the top 10 in sacks. They just
the defense has been good. Now, Barry. Chandler. I don't know what your Jets are gonna do over here. Maybe they hire Louis Riddick over here because
I already told you what the Jets need to do, bro. I already told you. I gave you a 3-point plan. I need Bobby Petrino as my offense coordinator. I need Louis Riddick as my GM.
You need Bobby Petrino in 8 different coaching positions. He's gonna be coaching every team.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're there, what I'm saying, Villain, if you need to dip out, man, I definitely.
I'm gonna dip in a minute, but listen, Cowboys need to trade Micah Parsons, blow it up, start over. I love you guys.
All right, big dog. With that being said, the Jets have fired Joe Douglas. My man is doing the cabbage patch. Yeah, real talk. When I got the alert today, the first person I wanted to text that shit to was CK, man.
In the Carlton days.
Yeah, he did. So you know what? It's something that was a long time coming.
Yep.
He was definitely not doing his job. He let the inmates from the asylum, if you will, by allowing Aaron Rodgers to come through and make decisions and have him bring in this person and that person and the other person. He's been a horrible GM for the longest time. And I'm not a Jets fan, but I have one here, and I've been talking with another one on Facebook. So CK, man, Christmas came in November for you, my guy.
Yes,
how you feel?
I never wanted Joe Douglas. You all know that. I've said that for the entire length of his stay. I thought he was a bad hire. It was one of those hey, give my guy a chance things. This was the guy who refused to even try to sign Lamar Jackson because he didn't want to piss off anybody in Baltimore where he had worked for 15 years. That was the reason that he wouldn't even try to sign Lamar Jackson when Lamar was going through his contract thing with the Ravens. That was the reason. It wasn't because they didn't want Lamar. It was because he didn't want to upset anybody because he might need a job later on after he got fired by the Jets. When you are setting up your next job while you have 3 years left on your contract, you already know you trash. You already know it. And miss me with he drafted Sauce. Anybody would have drafted Sauce Gardner. Anybody would have drafted Garrett Wilson. And anybody would have drafted Breece Hall. Okay? Those were no-brainer draft picks. Okay? But what has he done otherwise? Let's see. You traded for Hassan Reddick and then screwed it up so that he missed most of the season because you never got a contract signed for you traded for him. You traded Bryce Huff, who was younger, by the way, than Hassan Reddick. You traded John Franklin Myers, who is, working out in Denver. You traded defensive players because you didn't want to pay them, and then the guy that you replaced them with, you actually paid more money. In what world does that make sense? I'm seriously like, in what world does that make sense? You undercut your head coach, which I wasn't a fan of Robert Saleh, but you stripped him of his power early in his tenure because Robert Saleh never wanted Zach Wilson. by the way. Joe Douglas wanted Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh never wanted Zach Wilson. There is an interview, and it's on record, where he disagreed with the pick, but then he had to retract it 24 hours later because it just said, what are you doing? So he had to change his statement. That is also a fact because it's on record. You can Google it, and somebody likes to tell me Google is free. Aaron. Okay. This is a guy who hired an offensive coordinator that he shouldn't have, and then publicly tried to hire a different offensive coordinator, but didn't want to give him the title, and then let it get out that you were trying to get somebody to replace the guy that you shouldn't have hired, but you wouldn't give that person the title. Again, this is all Google-ish. I don't know if that's even a word, because you wanted him to be the GOAT offensive coordinator. You wanted him to be the ghost offensive coordinator. He wouldn't have the title, but he'd be in charge of the doggone offensive game plan. What the hell are you doing, man? What the hell is going on out here? But this all goes back to Jets ownership. I am old enough to remember the Jets winning the Super Bowl. Okay? I'm also old enough to know that the last two owners of the Jets had no concept of how to be an actual owner. Leon Hess was old and he was a fan. So whatever the fans called for, Leon Hess did it. We love Leon Hess because he would do whatever we wanted. If we were up in arms about something, Leon Hess said, oh, that's what y'all want? Okay. Okay. Leon Hess was the one who brought in Bill Parcells, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then Parcells left because Woody Johnson came on. He didn't want to work for Woody Johnson. So you know what? It's a lot going on with the Jets, man, but I'm glad Joe Douglas ain't got no job no more.
Yeah, man, that did not come as a shock to anybody sitting here. But I wanted to throw it around the room, man.
What are you talking about, Chandler?
Huh?
He's good.
Larry, cut it out. Larry, cut it out. Larry, cut it out. Cut it out, sir. Cut it out.
Hey, he brought Aaron Rodgers to New York, man.
Man, look, Hess just wanted y'all to buy gas, Chandler.
Yeah, I know. And them trucks. We bought them trucks.
That's why he did whatever y'all want. He's like, yeah, make sure if you need some gas, go stop at your local Hess. That's all he wanted. So it was like,
Listen, I had a bunch of those trucks.
Hey, I want to ask you. So if they don't hire Louis Riddick, man, who's your next pick to be the Jets GM? We know you've been on the Louis Riddick train for the past.
Yeah, I think. You know who I'd actually give a shot to? Mark Ross. I think that Mark Ross thing with the Giants was, listen, he couldn't draft an offensive lineman to save his life. I get that part, right? But he lost his job because he had the foresight to try to get rid of. No, was he? No, he was still a GM when that whole Eli Manning, Geno Smith thing went down. That was still Mark Ross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was why he lost his job, because people were mad about that. But I think if you look at his tenure, I think he did a pretty decent job. And I think that since he's been out, because for some reason GMs of color only seem to get one shot, I think he deserves a second bite at the apple. He would be my second choice. And my third choice might be the guy they have in there right now, Phil Savage. I think Phil Savage at his time in Cleveland did as best he could with both of his hands tied behind his back, because we know the Cleveland franchise has never wanted to spend money, and ownership has been way too meddlesome. Even before these clowns that are owning it now got involved, Cleveland ownership has always been cheap, not wanting to do the right thing. So I think if you give Phil Savage a shot with an organization that's actually willing to spend money, and they had talent on some of the Cleveland teams, they just couldn't pick a quarterback. So he has an eye for talent. He's done the job before. He's been with the Jets for a minute. I think, excuse me, especially since Woody's going to be gone in February. I think Phil Savage, if you're not going to go outside, let him go and get the job.
The only thing that I didn't like, man, and I saw it today, man. They were talking about the whole, Jets and what a situation is it, and I think you failed to mention it, Chandler. I did not know that Aaron Rodgers has a $45 million cap hit next year.
Yep.
That is crazy. He's playing like hot garbage right now.
Yep.
Like, how do you
take the cap hit? Take the cap hit.
45 million?
Yes, take the hit because you're going to have a rookie quarterback who ain't making no money. Take the hit, bro. Take the hit. Yeah, you got Jordan
Travis.
Yes. You Garrett is already under contract. All you got to do is talk to these guys and say, listen, bro, I know y'all gonna want your money. Work with us for a year because we will pick up your 5th-year option. And you cannot Brees, but you can pick up the 5th-year option for Garrett Wilson and Sauce. You can go ahead and pick that up and just ask them to give you a year so y'all can just get rid of that cap. Just take the whole cap hit right now. Don't spread it out. Take it all right now. Okay? You work with a rookie quarterback, and this way you only cap strap for 1 year. And you got a rookie quarterback, so you're not really paying the quarterback that much money. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Rip the Band-Aid off.
Because you got to remember, you got
it's 49 million.
You still got Adams on the team, who's Aaron Rodgers' black BFL.
Devontae's money isn't guaranteed, so Devontae's going to want to go somewhere so you can get at least a second rounder for Devontae.
And then you're going to have to get rid of Hackett.
Hackett's already, dude. All Hackett does is come in and play solitaire on his computer.
And I get it. But he's on the payroll. He's collecting a check, but he's got to.
Yeah, but that don't count against the salary cap. Don't count against salary cap. We don't care.
He's got to be out of the building. He can't be.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He's
got to be out of the building. And I get it. It's still early, but and I don't know where his headspace would be at. I was thinking I wouldn't mind seeing, if his headspace is in the right space. Somebody like a Riz Smith. He did some work down here, and he's used to working with a cheap ass owner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, no. Hey, he's working with the owner that's like, wait a minute, you need a tackle? I think we might want to get a guard. Hey.
A guy, Chandler, since we kicking this out to you. Now I know how you feel about Matt Ryan, but Thomas Dimitroff did a wonderful
Yes.
He did a really good job down in Atlanta building that team from where the Falcons were before he got there to where they were when he left. I think the Jets would be see what's going on with Tom, see what he's doing these days. Because I think that'd be a good name for to go in there and help the Jets out.
It would, because he accumulated a lot of talent while he was there. Now there's always some misses with every GM, but overall, he had way more hits than misses.
He changed the trajectory of that franchise. The Falcons this way, and he got there, and the Falcons start going up. So, yeah.
What you need to do, honestly, is call and find out what Ray Agnew is going to cost to get him out of Detroit. That's what you need to do.
As long as it's not Matt, not the clown that was the GM before them. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Mayhew can't. Because I'm hearing Martin Mayhew's name thrown around for GM jobs. Martin Mayhew shouldn't be allowed in an NFL stadium.
Whoever come in, they gotta know how to work that cap, man. Because I don't want to see the Jets end up like the Cowboys, because Sauce's money's gonna come up. Wilson's money's gonna come up.
But see, you got 2 years for that. That's why I say you go ahead and pick up the 5th-year option, and you talk to them like men. All right, adult to adult. We gotta pay you. And we know we got to pay you, but can you work with us for 1 season? Because
you gotta have a GM that come in and sign them early. Don't do what Jerry Jones do. Wait till the 11th hour.
Well, no, we talking about manipulating the cap and working the cap. It's like, has anybody ever been better at that than Mickey Loomis? No.
Oh my God, no.
No one has ever been better at doing that than Mickey Loomis.
They've been over the cap for 20 years.
Well, it's biting them right now, but
not really, because somehow they still finding money to pay. They gave Kamara an extension, didn't they? They finding the money somewhere.
It's biting them at some point, but because they have too many stars on their team that's on rookie deals, and they're gonna come up just like with the Cowboys, and then you're in that position where it's like you need to sign them early. You need somebody that knows how to. Hey, you know what? We'll pick up your 5th. These are the parameters of the contract that we're trying to get you signed to early.
Right.
So we put that $20 million away that we was not going to spend, and we're not looking to trade Micah. Like I said, as a noted Cowboys fan, I love it. Remember, I've been saying it since the season started. Dak is holding them hostage, and I wouldn't want to see the Jets being held hostage, mainly because I love Travis, and I don't want to see Travis in a bad position. But now they're selling off pieces that he need on that team.
But that's why I say you got to take the cap hit next season. You got to take the whole cap hit because if you spread it out, what you're doing is you're limiting what you can do the year after next season. So take the $45 million cap hit. Get these guys to work. These guys like playing in New York, so that's a positive. Okay, they actually for some reason like Jet fans, so that's also a positive because most players that play for the Jets kind of hate us because we're a-holes. So those two things work in your favor. So if you talk to them and you let them know, listen, this is what we're gonna give you. We just need a minute, right? It was like when you owe somebody some money, bro. I know I owe you some money, right? Can you just give me, give me a minute? I ain't gonna duck you, you know what I'm saying? But I got you.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Yeah, but they gotta treat Aaron Rodgers like the gout in your big toe, man. They gotta
he gotta go. He gotta go.
Aaron Rodgers gotta go, man, because Aaron Rodgers is just he didn't turn that team into a laughing stock, man. Like nobody.
But they've already put it out there. You're hearing reports, and whenever reports about somebody possibly not wanting to be there or not being there, that's the organization putting that out. So they already chumming the water to let Aaron know we don't want you, bro.
Yeah, I mean Woody Johnson probably told Mike Tannenbaum that personally. He probably went over there. He probably told him that personally. He probably was like, Mike, man, I got to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, man.
Oh,
like,
I would take Mike Tannenbaum back. I'd take Tannenbaum back.
Yeah, Mike T can come back. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Oh, he probably already filling out his resume right now. He probably
listen. Mike T he had a good 3-year stretch with Tannenbaum as the GM, bro.
Hey, he loving some Jets, boy. He probably over there. He probably at Woody House right now.
Just get the band back together. Just bring back Rex and bring back Mike T, and then we can just go from there. Just get
but that's the thing. Mike started as a capologist for Bill. Mm-hmm. So I want Louis Riddick. I want Mike Tannenbaum running my cap, right? I'll take Rex to get that doggone defense to actually play because right now the defense is quit. Okay, they have quit. And like I said,
there's too much talent on that side of the ball for them to play the way
exactly.
They quit. They're doing a sit-in strike because they're mad about Saleh. They're doing a sit-in, right? They showing up, collecting a check, and doing just enough to make it look like they're playing hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm a Jordan fan, man. I feel like Jordan would have been easily top 10 pick, and I would to see Jordan, in a bad situation because of the previous regime. You gotta, like you said, I know people love Fields, but dude, Justin.
That's also why I like Louis Riddick because he loves Travis Jordan.
Travis Jordan was better than Daniels, bro. Like, dude, real talk. If he wouldn't have got hurt, dude, that dude would have won the Heisman.
Yes, he would have.
He would have won the Heisman last year. And they might have upset a couple of teams because that dude is a big game quarterback, bro. Like you can't teach that. That's what I was saying. You can't teach a quarterback how to rise up to the moment. You can't teach a quarterback how to, when they in a tough position, to throw that Tom Brady pass. And Jordan Travis showed a lot of that in college, man. Jordan Travis was easily going to be a top 10 pick until he blew that knee out. And I wouldn't want to see him, have this, derail his career because of Aaron Rodgers' bullshit.
Yeah.
I think if Jordan Travis were healthy, I think Drake May would have went 5th.
No, I think Wisconsin would have went first. Caleb would have went first because people was banking on his talent, but Jordan probably would have went second.
Either him or Jaden. It would have been Caleb, Jordan, and Jaden. In some order, but those would have been the first 3 quarterbacks.
Because the LSU team they lost some games and Daniels did not look his best when they lost some games last year, but he put up big numbers. But Jordan Travis was putting up big numbers on an undefeated team before he got hurt. And I think
and the thing with Jordan was kind of like Jaden Daniels is they progressed and became actual quarterbacks.
Yes, in
their time because Jordan Travis the year before that, I was like, bro, are you just a runner? But then the next season you saw the growth, which meant he put in the work. So the one thing you know about him, he gonna put in the work.
The last 2, he really became more of a passer thrower.
Right.
The first couple of years, he was more of a runner.
Yeah.
But the last 2 years, he actually became more of a passer and a runner. And I'm being honest with you, Chandler. Ain't no way in hell he would have failed to y'all unless he would.
I know that. I know that.
Bad. And
that's why I wish Jalen Milroe would stay in school one more year under what's his face, the coach, DeBoer. I think if he had one more year under DeBoer, he would be a finished product as a quarterback, not just a scrambling quarterback, but as an actual quarterback. I think he'd be a finished product.
Because you look at what DeBoer did with Penix. When Penix got there from Indiana, he was just the athletic guy who can throw it a mile, but he wasn't a quarterback.
Right.
In his time in Seattle with DeBoer, he became a quarterback.
Yes.
So,
yeah, because I can be honest with you, Nick Saban ain't teaching no quarterback how to be no quarterback.
No.
Yeah,
you ain't learn how to read no defense under Nick Saban. I'm being real.
So, with that being said, gentlemen, we have reached the tail end of today's show, man. There's a couple of things I wanted to get into. I will say that for next week because I believe it will still be relevant. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to get your plugs and shout-outs before we get out of here, man. Thanks for coming by, kicking with us, man. You know what to do, man. Give me a plug and a close out as we shut it down, my guy.
A lot of fun tonight, man. Glad to be on with y'all. 22 veterans commit suicide every day. These are the holidays. Sometimes those numbers go up, and not just for veterans, but all across the board. Holidays are a hard time for a lot of people. Even if you have family, you don't have to be homeless and addicted and all that. Sometimes the holidays are hard. You know, lack of sunlight. You're not getting enough vitamin D. So talk to people. If you're feeling down, if you have the ability to go see your doctor, ask for a light box. What it is, it's like sitting in the sunlight about 15 minutes a day. It works. It helps with the depression. Remember, you can do anything for 10 minutes. So if you feeling down and you feeling like you stuck, get up, go wash dishes, do something for 10 minutes. You can do anything for 10 minutes. A friend of mine at the VA, he passed away. He used to say, move a muscle, change your thought. Move a muscle, change your thought. You'd be surprised that you dealing with something and oh man, life is terrible, it's horrible. And you just get up, walk to the door, front door and back. Forgot what you was upset about. Because you changed, you moved the muscle, you changed the thought. But 988, it's the holidays, use it. It's not just if you're about to hurt yourself, if you just need somebody to talk to, option 1 for vets, but 988. And as always, choose life. Thanks, fellas.
All right, big man, appreciate you for coming by, kicking with us, man. Again, as a spouse of a veteran, again, that reigns true. My brother's a veteran, my wife's a veteran. I got veterans all around me, man. You never understand what's going on. Again, we need to get that number down to 0. We need to get that number down to 0. Steve, you know what I'm saying, Coach? You know what to do, my guy, man. It's been another good one. I want to talk to you gentlemen offline. We got to get a date for that launch pad. But
yeah, the launch pad, like again, it's like we can do that offline because it's like, boy, we might need 2 hours for the launch pad, but it never anyway. Like but we get Larry's cousin on, and we might need 3.5 hours.
Get him in here.
Look, I'm like this. That ain't gonna be no lunch pad. That's gonna be the first hour of just Jabari bashing. That's gonna be the first hour. We're just gonna call it the Jabari Bash Show.
Oh God, he's so bad. Anyway, so it's so just like you know what? I'm sorry. Like somebody showed some tape of him at Auburn. And it's like a totally different guy.
Who was he playing against, though? Who was he playing against?
But yeah, he was playing against Vanderbilt. He was playing against. Now look, let's not down talk the quality of SEC basketball, because SEC, they play decent basketball. I mean, but again, we saw it in the tournament. In the tournament, where was he? Where's Jabari? Where is that? Can't nobody find him. You know what I'm saying? But
I told Sears that earlier. I said,
talk to him, Dad. Talk to him, Dad.
I told him that earlier. We ain't getting started on your Steelers, man.
like I said, we're going off. Like, look, everybody who can hear my voice right now, share the link. If you see the link, share the link. It's very simple. You're on the internet anyway. In between them tweets or them Facebook comments, help your boys out, please. It helps us out, gets us out there, stuff like that. So just Please, we trying to get things moving here, trying to grow this little thing of ours, the boardroom meeting, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, if you see us out there, just it's very important to us that you share the link when you see it. We don't say that just because it sounds cool. You know what I'm saying? We actually appreciate that if you're rocking with us like that. So that being said, God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
Water is life. Make sure y'all drink y'all water. Stay hydrated. Y'all see me, I've been drinking my water all show. And then, of course, get them dubs up. Because y'all already know, Wu-Tang is for the children.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Thank you so much, big homie, man. Larry, you know what to do, my guy, man. Another show in the books. Go on and give me a plug and a close up and shut it down, big dog.
Man, it's always been a pleasure, man. It's always good being in the boardroom. Unc always talking about his vets. Of course, Steve talking about water and share the show, and I definitely, agree with him. We over here, we trying to grow the plant, man. We trying to, let it see where it's gonna sprout out to. I know we've been talking about doing some things on the back end. We working on growing some more content for everybody. We're working on getting some bigger and better things. So of course, we want everybody to make sure that if somebody know what you do, share it. Like I said, if you know a friend and you say, okay, my friend loves, sports content, hey, check these guys out. So, it's always good to share something because you might be giving somebody something that they really need in their life. We always like to be detached, for 2 hours on a Tuesday. This is our highlight of the week, and it could be your highlight of the week too. So I'll just shut it down and I'll say, we're gonna work on this Rockets / Jabari bashing. I see what your dad said, and I get what he said about these Steelers. I'm gonna just say, Russ didn't cook, but he ain't burned the meal either. That's all I'm gonna say. He wasn't cooking no filet mignon, but you wasn't eating spam either. Hey, and look,
yeah, he tried to. He tried to. He tried to do some crazy stuff Sunday.
Hey, look, don't get me started jumping in the comments yesterday, but I was watching the game, and I don't think I love more than jumping in on the Steelers show and commenting. If y'all see me in there, I'm in there all the time, is watching the Cowboys get their ass whooped. And yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. It's definitely lovely. Shedding some tears around these Cowboys parts. But like I say, always been a pleasure. Catch y'all next week. I'm out.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Larry, for coming through, man. It's your boy Sirius repping that 412 and the 703, man. It's such a privilege and a pleasure to be able to do this show with you guys every week, man. As my colleague said, man, if you see the show, share the show, man. We're doing big things in big spaces, and definitely want to take you guys along with us, man. Shout out to my friends over at the Nonsense and Deep Thoughts podcast. Looking forward to continuing our partnership with those guys. My man Jared for helping me put this stuff together. Corey, Aaron, and those guys, man. Shout out to the fellas who was on with me yesterday, my dad, for rocking with me, talking still of football. My man Miguel, we miss Nick. Next week's show is going to be a big one, man. We're talking everything NFL. We're going to hit a college thing. We're going to do a lot of big things next week, man. Obviously, the holidays are upon us, man. So again, give thanks for what you're thankful for, but also reach around somebody, show some love. Again, the holidays are very difficult for a lot of different people, man. So again, each one reach one. With that being said, God bless. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.